happy holidays! Welcome back to Ethereal Arts Studio. My name is Juanscribe, and here I'm an artist, you're an artist, we are all artists. We're going to be making a Christmas painting using this decoration from Michael's.
We're going to paint it based on Die Hard.
So, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Of course it is!
The material that I'm painting on is wooden, but this could be done on a canvas. It would be a good idea to do it on a round canvas, but any canvas will be fine. And what I'm doing here is I'm priming it. So you can prime it using gesso, or you can just paint it white. And you could also use any large size brush. I mean, the one I'm using is 3/4 flat. So the scene that I'm painting is the explosion at the top of the Nakatomi Plaza. And I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna start painting the top of the building. So I'm using a number 10 flat, and I'm using black paint once the white behind it has dried. So I washed that brush and I dried that brush, and now I'm using a number 10 flat to make these lines that are for the top of the Nakatomi. And now, using the same brush, I'm gonna start to paint some of the background behind the explosion. So this is basically the night sky that I'm painting. Okay guys, so for those that are painting with me, this is when it's going to start to get exciting. So I'm going to start to mix some white and black paint, so make a gray, to start adding some details to the top of the building. After which we will then work on the explosion itself. But for now, as you can see, using the same number 10 brush, we can add some details to the building to make it look a little bit more realistic. Now, I don't know about you, but when I paint, I love to listen to music. And when I paint based on movies that I love, I have to listen to the soundtracks associated with those movies. So when I painted, for example, Alien, I was listening to Jerry Goldsmith. And when I paint Total Recall, I listen to Jerry Goldsmith. And now, right, Die Hard is Mcclane, and it just reminds me of those great soundtracks from Predator movies and the Terminator movies and RoboCop, Lethal Weapon. It's just some really great soundtracks. So when we get to this part, we can mix some red and yellow to make a nice strong orange color, so that we can then start to work on the explosion itself. And here's what I'm using a brush that is slightly larger than the previous one. So this is a number 12 flat, because it covers more ground, so it won't take forever to paint, you know, the outside of this explosion. So the reason why we left all this blank space is because we're going to add yellow to that. And the yellow is going to mix with those edges that we added that were mostly like a reddish orange. And it's going to create a center of the explosion that is very bright. So now let's take some yellow and let's add the yellow right onto the canvas or the surface that we're painting on. And as you can see, it's going to mix and it's going to blend and it's going to create a transition from the edges of the explosion to the center, which is going to be brighter. But we're still going to leave some areas white. So to soften some of these transitions between colors, let's continue to dab. We dab between the colors to soften, to merge them better, after which we wash our brush, dry it really well, and let's take some whites and fill in some of these white areas and continue to do the same thing. We dab, dab, until it softens and it blends much better. Okay, let's add some light hitting the building itself. It's a big explosion, so it's causing a big light. So we add a little bit of white paint, just a little bit, on the top of this building. Then, without washing the brush, just take a little bit of yellow and add that too. We can always go back to the explosion and add a little bit more white to make it brighter in the areas where it's very bright. Using any of the brushes, here I'm using the number 10, but we're just dabbing again to add a little bit more oomph to it. Let's paint John Mcclane. So to paint John Mcclane, we're going to use black paint. We could add a couple of drops of water in it. And we're going to make his silhouette. So we can start with his head. So here we have John Mcclane, or Bruce Willis, his left arm. I'm drawing it now, stretching out really high. And my best advice is to just make every mark that I make. So as I continue to paint him, here I'm going to paint his back. I want you guys to just follow along. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this whole controversy surrounding Die Hard, whether it's a Christmas movie or not. Now, obviously, I said it before, I totally think it is. But there are many people who still have doubts about that. Now, let's talk about it a little bit. I mean, you guys can comment. Please comment in the commentary section and tell me what you think. I think that, it just because it doesn't deal with like the Christmas spirit or like Santa, or what it means to what Christmas is all about, right? Just because it doesn't tackle those things like specifically, and actually, state any of that, it doesn't make it any less of a Christmas movie. I mean, there's nothing more merry than a hero saving the day, right? So he is like goodwill, right? And he's fighting evil. And I think that is very, very much the Christmas spirit, in my own, that's my take on it. Other movies, right? Like Gremlins, Batman Returns, the same thing. They take place during Christmas or Christmas time, and you have good versus evil, right? So they're totally Christmas movies. So what do you guys think? Please write in the comments. Tell me everything all your opinions. I really want to know. And not every Christmas movie has to be A Christmas Story or Home Alone or It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, all three of which are incredible films that I love. But, those are the more traditional, family-friendly Christmas movies. Okay, so let's take some white paint now. Okay, we could use number 10 flat, anything that you might have around that size, and let's add some light to the left side of him, of John Mcclane. Let's also make sure that we paint the hose that is around his waist. And it's going to be white first before we add shadow to it. So at first, it will be fully white. We also have to make sure that we paint the machine gun that he has. So here you see the tip of it on one side. Also the strap. And on the other side is the rest of it. Okay, so now let's mix some white and black to make a gray color. And that gray, we'll use it to add some shadow to the hose that is around his waist. Just a little bit like this. Then you wipe off most of it with a paper towel. And then you blur the edges of that shadow so that it'll be soft and not just a blotch. You can add some shadow also to the rest of the hose, like this. Okay guys, we're getting there. Now a couple of more touches here and there. Here I'm using my number 10 flat once again with white paint to add some light on the machine gun. So while we finish here, I wanted to just thank everybody for watching the video. If you painted with me, please share your artwork. Our email is in the description. We really would love to hear from you. I had a great time as always, and I hope that you have a great time as well during the holidays. With whoever you spend it with, happy holidays, and have a great time with your loved ones, or have a great time painting. But thank you so much for painting with me or for watching the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out all our other material as well.
Get together, have a few laughs.
Once again, thank you so much. Please check out etherealartsstudio.com and check out all our other videos on YouTube.